How are you? Let's see how we're doing. Oh, yes, we are here. We are all here in live and direct coming at you. It's Sharon. How are all my beautiful people doing? Yes, I said I'm coming on. It's great to be here. It's great to see you. I am excited because we are showing up in the now. Too many times we are just so busy, and I have been guilty of that. I've been guilty of that. Um, how to be present in the now. And we're going to talk a little bit about finishing the year strong. So, how have you all been? Thank you. Come on in. We are, let's see, here we go. Here we go now. Here we go. Yes, we are live and in living color, and it's working. Yeah. So, it has been interesting week. Thank you for coming on in. And Mitchy Boo, how are you? Great to see you. Man, I think during this season I've been on a lot of calls, a lot of meeting after meeting. I think another one with the Jamaican embassy of out of Washington D.C. Lots of stuff that's happening, that's going on for Jamaica and us getting into Jamaica. You know, they have different phases. So now just getting the food, getting other things in, trying to restore some of the running water and most of all the electricity. So there are lots of things that's happening. So yeah. Oh, you're getting ready for work. Yeah, thank you. Thank you if you get a chance to continue listening in. I'm being present in the now, because there's just so many things that's happening. And especially when you start losing friends and people that you know around your age group, it makes you look at life a little bit different. And my thing is this is being in the now. Let me just excuse myself here. Let's see if I can put on these other glasses. I'm still here. So there we go. So a lot has been happening, and it makes me think about life. Think about life is just being present, showing up in the now. And even what I'm going to, moving forward with the show, I'm always talking about, what I'm going to do. You all go. Oh gosh, I can see everybody. Um, yeah, it's just being present. And sometimes it makes you think about, what is all of this about? And to me, it's being present. Can't take it with me, but guess what? I'm going to sure enjoy it. My daughter wants to go to Australia. She said, I want to go to Australia. And I'm just thinking about the flight. And then I thought about it. Japan wasn't too bad. South Africa wasn't too bad. Bali was 24 hours. So why not? Why not Australia? So being present in the now. We're going to finish the year strong. We're going to talk about that. But people talk about having a bucket list, like what's on their bucket list. And I always have all the places I wanted to go. So I may just have to put Australia on it. So I said, what about Australia, London, and Portugal? She said, Australia. I said, okay. What about Kenya, Ghana, Egypt? Of course, I want to go back to South Africa. And then she said, Egypt. No, before I said Australia, I said Greece. It was Greece, London, United Kingdom, and Portugal. And she said Greece. I said, oh my gosh, we agreed on something. So, because we agreed on Greece, she got me for Australia. February, I don't know, because that's a whole nother time of the year. But that's the thing, guys, when I say, being in the moment, and why not? Be in the moment, just show up, living your best life. And why take all of these, things happen things happen in life. And are we taking them too serious? Sometimes it's best just to just to leave some of that stuff. Oh my gosh, it's such a nice night. It's raining. Can you hear it? The raindrops. Just being in the moment. I think that's what I want to do. I just want to be in the moment of all of this. Even at the time of this recording with the hurricane, people being displaced, and coming up with ways of how we can truly support, and doing that on the medical side of things. It has you really thinking the thing that we might take for granted. Hey, Christ, is that Chris? It's Chris. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, the things that we take for granted. So when we're on this call and someone was saying, well, what is it that people need? There was the medical side of it, but then I started to think about something as simple as water. Like, I don't even want to waste water. Guys, I don't even want to waste water. If I have any water left over, water the plants. We sometimes like to take these long 15-minute shower, and knowing that there are people, if they could get a gallon of water just to take a shower, it makes a huge difference. So being present in the moment is also not to feel guilty, because I've heard that people are saying that they have survivor's guilt after seeing what some people have endured. But there are those who will say, as long as I have life, and maybe you can say that in the moment, but later on, the post traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, will show up. And so individuals are going to need support, especially if you've been through anything traumatic, such as disasters like that hurricane there in Jamaica. It's definitely going to be needed. So I just wanted to show a little. Let me see if I can do this. I wanted to bring in a little clip when I was in Dominica and one when I was in Jamaica. And it was just a few seconds, it's less than a minute. But something about it was like, hey, be in the moment and see how you can enjoy it. So let me try and see if I can do that. Hey, amazing people, how are you doing? It's Sharon from Dominica, and look at that beautiful sunset. Absolutely amazing. I want to tell you something. Enjoy every moment, each moment that you get an opportunity to take in nature. Do it. Don't worry about what other people think, what they say. You are worth all of this beauty, all of this, just for you. Take care. And so, yeah, I wanted to share that because I felt that so many times that we all go through, and we have these different experiences in life that we don't take the moment. And so sometimes too, when I look at my camera, like, man, you should have more footage, you should have more stuff. But I'm finding myself wanting to enjoy, wanting to be just in the moment. There was a point that I wanted to capture everything. I wanted to capture everything that I did with my kids. And like my youngest daughter, since she was little, most of her photos were like this. They were like this. And that was telling me, like, mommy, just give me my space. And she would say, why do you need a camera all the time? Because I wanted to capture those moments. I wanted to capture them so I could look at them, that I could relive them. But while I was doing that, I was missing the most important thing. I was missing the now. So sometimes we get so caught up in trying to capture it all. I mean, if you go out and you'll see a lot of people, what do you see most of the times? And I've been guilty of it, on the phone, out to dinner on the phone, get an extra second on the phone. And we are so, I think we're just so, it's like that's how things are. We are set up in that manner for us to just to, social media, always scrolling. It's hard to put away the phone. It's hard to get a good night's sleep because it affects us because we're thinking that. And when we say we have been there, oh, I'm going to miss this. And then I have to remember that I can always come back to the replay, that I have my list. I can have my list of the people, like I said, I'm going to watch. And so I'll go through the list because Mitchy Boo, I got to come over there with my juicing. And I go down through my list. I go down through like Cassie Kitchen Creations with a K. Nancy, I know the people that I have to see already, those people for the week. You know, I was over in, I think, New Zealand. Listen, I was over in New Zealand, but I was there watching Mel and relax with Mel. And so sometimes too, I just crisscross and how being in the moment and still showing up for the things and the people that are important, it requires you to be intentional about it. I Cherish Church. Nitya, right? Lyrics by Nitya, Wisdom Sparks. It's Marvella, right? So it requires you being intentional about how you incorporate all of this. How do you incorporate your the things that you say you want to do in life? Friends are important. Man, they're people that I've met, and even before I met them in person, just to experience them, just to be in their space makes a huge difference. So when you have the time and you're trying to show up in the now, what are some of the things that's important to you? What are some of the things that's important? Guys, just give a thumbs up, double tap the screen when you get a moment. I know you might be doing stuff around the house, but that's one of the things I want to talk about. So, yeah, I did play the little video before. I wish I could do it again because I wanted folks to actually let me see. Okay, I'm gonna try it again, guys. Just give me a second here. You're gonna see me try it. I'm gonna add the video and see. Hey, amazing people, how are you doing? It's Sharon from Dominica, and look at that beautiful sunset. Absolutely amazing. I want to tell you something. Enjoy every moment, each moment that you get an opportunity to take in nature. Do it. Don't worry about what other people think, what they say. You are worth all of this beauty, all of this, just for you. Take care. Yep, everybody. And so that's one of the things, that I like to talk about. I like to talk about being in the now. How am I going to show up? How am I going to show up in this world in a way that I'm not missing anything, right? That that I'm not missing any of that stuff. So that's why I've decided that's how I'm just going to live my life. If I wish to take a call, I'll take a call. If I wish to have a meeting, I'll have a meeting. Now, I'm not saying, right? I'm not saying that I'm just going to throw caution to the wind and just drop the ball. No, it's not about that. It's really it's really about how I'm choosing to show up in my life. And so that's the question I'm asking you. What is the thing that you are more intentional about? You are saying, you know what, I am making a commitment to be more intentional about something in my life. What is that thing? Because it comes a point in life when, what is this all about? What is this all about? Is it just rushing to the next thing? Is it just getting to the next place or getting the next degree or the next certification or the next house, the next property? Not saying any of those things aren't important, but my thing is here, what are some of the things that you're being intentional about? Could it be your conversations? Could it be your relationships? Could it be the decisions that you're making for yourself? Because right now, baby, aunties, yes. What's her name used to call me? Go ahead, auntie. Flip that bang, auntie. The thing that I am being intentional about is my peace. Yes. The moment you're saying, I'm going to be intentional about my peace, the conversations, the people that I'm letting into my life, agree with me. Let me know. For those of you who are here live, drop a heart or something, a one or something, or just saying, yeah, Sharon, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you about protecting my peace. Come on. Come on. Go ahead right there. You want to protect your peace. If you're just coming in, definitely appreciate you being here. Go ahead and double tap the screen. We are about finishing the year strong. And the thing about it is that we will need to, uh, you know, to, I say this just to be, be intentional about it. Be intentional about your relationships. You may have to start to identify relationships that aren't serving you. What are some of those relationships that aren't serving you? What are some of the things that's not um, adding value to your life? And the value is not always the financial aspect of it. I'm talking about something that doesn't, if it doesn't make you, if it doesn't fill you up, if you don't feel as if you are being uplifted in a relationship or a conversation, you deserve your peace. And it's going to require you to say, you know what, enough is enough. I had a situation and I spoke with a couple of people that are truly, truly respect their opinion. And they've always been very honest with me. People that I've known over 20 years. And one person, I think I've known her for about 5 years, but I so value what she does. Just really, we always seem to be in tune. And what they had to say is the part of me that sometimes I did not want to come to terms with. So there may be something in you that the people that really, truly care about you can come to terms with and say, hey, this is happening. So I'm just going to tell you right now, this is what I see. And why do you need it? And the question to me was like, why do you need it? Why do you put yourself in in that particular situation? And so I thought of it and it went way back. It went way back. So many of the things, the things that we're now doing, it goes back to our childhood. And it goes back to, and I thought about it, and at this, as somebody would say, at this big age, at this point in my life, I'm just like, yeah, that's what it was. That's what it is. Mm. And so it was much easier, I think, at this particular time to say, you know what? Um, I understand. Yeah, this is why I am, or we can say this is why we make certain types of decisions. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. So, yeah, let's be intentional about the relationships that we're having, our conversations that we're having. And I find life is so much easier because, there's sometimes you may feel as if, oh, um, especially if you can identify that thing that you continue to do, the thing that really does not serve you, but yet you still do it. And what is that thing that's pushing me towards showing up that way? You can ask yourself, what is that thing that's making me show up in that way? And so, yeah, so that's something to cross off the list, that, you know what, I am showing up for me. I am extending grace to myself. So the thing that I'm crossing off my list is this: I show up even when I don't want to, and it does not serve me. So things that do not serve me, what? Identify them and cross them off the list. See how long it took me to even identify them? So things that no longer serve. It no longer serves me, so we'll cross that off the list. Um, so it's no longer serving. And can you identify those things? So it could be a conversation, it could be a relationship, meaning it could be a relationship, whether it's personal or business. And sometimes even to, it could be family. Sometimes you just need to take a break. Sometimes you need to take a break and allow other people to take breaks, and that it's okay. There's just nothing wrong. And the older I get, the less I like to, I have to keep explaining things, because people may have their misconceptions that they don't know what I do. And when you start to talk about it, been guilty of that this year, that I was just so frustrated. I think it's the straw that broke the camel back. And I just started to talk about what I was experiencing. And it was not fair to anybody else to hear that. So sometimes, too, you may be carrying so much. You may be carrying so much that you want to tell somebody, if you just want to let it all out. My God, I was just like, I need to get a therapist, right? Listen, this is like a podcast. You guys can listen to this. You don't even need to see me, because this is where this show is going. It's going straight to podcast. So you guys can definitely listen up. So yeah, that was one of the things. And let me do what I did again last night. Let's do what I did again last night. We're going to share this. I'm going to copy this link. Yeah, so I'm looking at certain things that we have to step back from it. So we're going to finish the year strong, but we're also going to start it even stronger, because of um, some of the things that we've been through. And I definitely want to finish the year stronger, and I want to start it stronger. And so now I am looking at my circle of influence. Guys, do you have a circle of influence? Do you have people that you definitely, that when they're in your space, you feel empowered? If you feel that you're in a place, in a space, and it doesn't feed you, just be brave enough and say, you know what, there's nothing that I'm getting from this. Yeah, let's let's talk about that. And you're going to also figure out what is it that really makes sense right now. Even for those of us in the nursing field, I'm gonna skip over into that, because where I'm now, um, yeah, let's try this right now. So, guys, yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about this, and people are going to say, "What's going on?" Hey, it's been a minute. It's Sharon, RNT CEO, stopping in for a quick minute right here. Stopping in for a quick minute. And we're talking about the things that really add value to our lives, the things that we may need to just release in order for us to live a fuller life. And even so, moving forward, we're thinking about how do we start the year? We want to end the year, but we're going to talk about we are going to end it strong. We're going to end it on a high note. And it means that you are just going to sit back, you're going to look at it. And I also tell folks, guys, to get a journal. If you don't have a journal, get a good old journal that you can write on. Hardcover. Get yourself a journal. Get yourself a journal somewhere where you can write the information. And sometimes too, when you're going down that page, I want you to fold the page. You have the pros and the cons, one on the left, one on the right. The things that you're going through that seems a little bit toxic, it doesn't serve you, it drains you. And you know what? That's something or someone or some situation you could do without. And the opposite of that, what does it need to look like in order for you to feel full, to feel vibrant, in order for you to feel like I'm alive, right? Because if I want to stay in the moment, how do I need to show up? My goodness. Even with what's going on with nursing, and here in the States, they were talking about, it's not a professional degree. They're going to cap how much money you can borrow for loans and so forth and so on. And sometimes we allow people to label us, just walk into being labeled that you are not a professional despite all the hours. I heard nurses saying, I spent hours studying, I spent so much time giving up myself and my family, my time, my energy, and my resources, only to be told that what I'm doing is not professional. And then we get triggered by the word saying that we are not professional. Why allow others to have that much power? My goodness. Guys, hey, make sure that you're following, make sure that you're giving a thumbs up, make sure that you're showing up in powerful ways that we can stay connected, because I really, really appreciate the fact that we are able to do that, that we're able to connect. And so if someone is going to tell me the years that I've spent studying and working and practically working with others to save lives, what I'm doing is not professional. Most of it is just I think it's a business kind of thing, right? It's a business move, because if you can't get the loans where you're supposed to get them, well, somebody and their friends are going to be the ones. In other words, be careful about those trigger words, because I'm not going to allow someone or anyone to choose how I show up, to let anyone say how I should show up, because they're choosing to label me. And so when I say, is nursing over what we knew it to be, why we even came into it, you have to even look at yourself, what you are doing. Why did you choose to show up for that career, for that degree, for the space that you choose to navigate in? And because of trigger words, somebody can tell you, you are not a professional. No, that's their opinion. You know what? It's their opinion, not mine. It's there. And so we have to make those decisions, because if and when I said, I want to be present in the moment despite what's happening, you have to choose that, make a conscious decision. And that's why I'm saying, if you have the journal that I'm talking about, and I have some of those, you hear how nice and hard it is. I love a good journal. Do you love a good journal or a book? Something you can write on. And I said, open that journal and fold it. I'm going to show you what I do. I have journals all over the place. And I give my clients journals too. So you fold it. And so you have the pros and the cons. What serves me? What doesn't serve me, right? And like I said, the relationships, there's some of them, they're draining. The relationships are draining. And if you have relationships and people that are draining you, you have the right in your space to say, you know what? I don't worry about them hurting my feelings. There's some people that they're just leeches, and allowing that is not serving you. So you end up being drained because every time their issue is not your emergency, right? I know it's a better quote than that. And so you have to make that decision. You know what? No, I'm not, I'm not going to answer that call right now. It ain't that important right now. Okay. And so now you what are you doing when you're in the moment and you're showing up? It means you're taking your power back. So whether they want to say what I do and what I've studied and spent years doing is not a profession, it's not considered professional. It's a business thing, man. It's it's a business thing, right? It's a business. And so by labels, no, and that's the thing too, because I know when my children were growing up, I never really allowed anybody. I don't, first of all, I didn't teach them to be disrespectful, but no one, and our parents, if you know, no, you're not going to talk about my child like that. You're not going to say these things over their lives. Absolutely darn not. Absolutely not. So if as children, and we need to go back to that place in the space of where that, you know what, I wouldn't even want somebody to speak to my child like that. And we may not think about it as adults now. Why do we allow ourselves for those trigger words? Why do we allow ourselves to be in places and spaces? Because sometimes too we don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, and we may think that, all right, they're in a different position than me, they may be older than me, when half the time they don't know what you know. And that's what I'm getting annoyed with right now. Not so much annoyed, but I just no longer entertain it. Guys, stop entertaining people who don't know, who try to convince you in the midst of what you're saying, as if you don't know what you're saying, or especially when you said what needed to be said, then they come back with something else because that's their MO. Some folks get to a certain level based upon doing that. And I'm starting, you call a spade a spade. You will see things that people sometimes you will think to, guys, this conversation, hey, it's Sharon, RN to CEO. Great to see you up there. If you click that link, you're going to come over and see me live. But if not, just listen, because I like when folks listen. It's just my radio days getting back to me. But that's the thing, guys. Let's this year that I'm going into, getting a little bit older, right? A little bit more seasoned. And I'm getting to the point where my filters, I no longer have any filters. I am just showing up for who I want to be. My God, it is so powerful to take back your power. Be in the moment. I showed you guys the video when I was in Dominica. I'm on the beach and it's only 45 seconds. And I said, oh my God, I wish it were longer. But the thing was this, I wanted to be in the moment. I saw another beautiful sunset in another country, right? And so I wanted to be in that moment. So yes, I took off, I stopped filming, whatever, and I just enjoyed it, because when the sun is setting, it's only a few minutes when it gets real bright, and then it disappears on the horizon. You're at the ocean and it disappears. And I just wanted to be in that moment. So every time or set up your camera somewhere else and just leave the camera, let the camera do its own thing. But you want to be in that moment. Be in that moment when you are one with nature, when you are one with who you are and whose you are and how you're supposed to show up. There is power in that thing. We have more power inside of us than we can ever imagine. The power is within us individually, it's within us. And I always say we attract who we are. You are going to attract who you are. So in a moment, if you are at the place and the space and the level where you are feeling, we call it, in Jamaica, we call it the vibes, man. We say your vibes, right? And because some people get, "Ooh, you're talking about vibration, you're talking about all of this other stuff." No, I'm just talking about life. You are going to attract who you are. I will tell you this: if you're in a place and a space, let me tell you something with you. Let me share something with you. If you are in a space where you're feeling low, you may feel like, I don't have this money, I don't know where it's coming from, or this thing is happening, you are going to attract all of that. But the moment you choose, whether it's through prayer or you're decreeing and declaring that thing, and you show up differently, let me tell you, and you might have experienced that when you decided, instead, when they say, I don't look like what I've been through, because there's somewhere, something deep inside. I am decided at this moment, I am choosing something a little bit more different. And guess what happens? Things start to show up. Because if you are acting, if sometimes too, when you are feeling down or you're feeling frustrated, you may say the wrong thing. You may show up in a different way, and then people will get that, and that will be a turn off. But the moment you decide to say, listen, I'm going to show up, flip the script, you can really change the atmosphere of the room. Dr. Wynn, yeah, we're talking about a little bit of everything, being in the moment, but even being told that we are no longer professionals. How dare they? Right. And I know it has to do with the loans and stuff like that and who should be on it and who shouldn't. But it's going to be up to us, because the way that it's been all over the internet, and people are like, oh my God, we're not even professionals. They don't think, look at all the years we did this. Rightfully so, be upset about it. But I'm not going to internalize that, because I understand it's about business. It's you got to look at all of this for what it is. Because a few years ago, and I'll use nursing for example, we were the heroes, and then all of a sudden we were like the villains. Like, what is going on? Why pick on us? Okay, why is it? Because it's a career where it's mostly women, and people may think they want to do it. So even for my question, when I say, is nursing over, the way that we thought that it was a respectful career. For me, for many of us who go and enter into nursing, we're nurturers. We're givers of ourselves. Okay. How many times have you had to stay late at work because another person wasn't there to relieve you? Okay. Or they might have been short staffed. You couldn't even walk out. Even if you wanted to walk out, something inside of you would make you that you could not even do that, because legally, first of all, they're going to get you for abandonment. All right. So, but there's something deep inside of you that we are wired in such a way that God, yes, I said it, God created us, that we have this love, this empathy for others. That's how we were created. So no one is going to tell me, right, who I am, because I already know that. And so the idea is to stay connected, right? Stay connected with who you are. Take your levels, okay? How you feel, your emotions, at, you know, oh my gosh, I'm getting all excited because I know I've done it for myself. There are two ways. It's either I'm going to mope around, or I'm going to say, I don't have this, I don't have that. But if I start to speak to myself, and many of us do that through prayer, and I always ask God just to open up my mind and open up my mind, give me a new way, a new idea, a new way of thinking about things, a new way of showing up, new ideas, new ways even to deal with a situation. I'm going to tell you right now, guess what's going to happen? You will get your desires of your heart, because out of the abundant of the heart, the mouth speaks. So instead of us always saying what we don't have, choose to say, I'm not going to tell you you have to. You make a choice. You choose to say, this is how I am choosing to show up in my life. So no, I'm not here with a sob story that, you know, this is what they're saying about us and we're going to take it for what it is. Absolutely not. Because it's one thing, it's us, then it's something else. We're going to focus. And I think the focus needs to come back to our families. Bring that back to this, to a new generation, instead of just believing everything that's on social media, what's being said. It's just to be clear on who you are. And so you being present in the moment, you being present in, um, like I said, I keep saying who you are and whose you are and being connected to that. Well, you would say, Sharon, how do we do it? Being intentional, because we're finishing the year strong and we're going to start it even stronger. And being intentional with conversations, with relationships, what I'm choosing and not, what I choose to do and not to do. The choice, we have the power of choice and how we're choosing to show up. And so for my, and I'm not even saying the new year, I like to do things by the quarter, but I'm doing it now because I'm at a certain place, a lady of a certain age, at this time in my life. What do I want to do? And some of us may say, "Oh, I want to go back to school." Well, if I want to do that, that should be one thing on your calendar or in your journal. This is what I want to do. I want to take a new certification in something. I want to do things a little bit different. And so, yeah, you have the power to do that. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Barbara, hi. Hi, everybody. Oh, my goodness. Like, I always say like, subscribe, and share. But if we've ever connected before or it's new, thank you for being here. One of the things that I'm doing is just this year, and I just don't want to say, oh, I'm just doing this for that. Just being intentional with the people that I'm connected to. And I know life has changed, some things have changed, and I think when you're more intentional, we talk about a collapse of time instead of stretching things out. When you're in the place in the space that you can be intentional about this thing that we're that it is that you want to attain, and how I now work with people, they have to be really intentional about what they want and hold in the space, because we may not, someone will say, I don't have 6 months, I don't have a year, I don't have all of those things. But even during that space when we work together, my thing is about how you're going to collapse time and be intentional. Because the way that I know things, the way that they are now, by tomorrow or next year, somebody will give you a new label and it has changed. Then they're telling you something else, right? And so, even with, I'm going to come back to nursing and talk about it, because one of the things that I will say is this: um, if we continue to allow people to downgrade you, your lifestyle, they, first of all, they start with you, how you think, your history, all of that stuff, you know, all of that stuff. You see it where that starts, right? And so it starts to erode. They start to dig away at that, dig away at that. After a while, you're going to say, really, who am I? Because once again, allowing others to put that label on you is so dangerous, on your children, on your life, everything. My goodness, I was just all over the place with it, but definitely we're going to connect. And over there at Instagram, RN the number two CEO Instagram, we can connect over there. Message me, whichever way. I don't chase people. I like it when we connect, because I am so intentional in this season of my life. And I will say this, full transparency. Sometimes when you've given your all, you cannot want something more than people want for themselves. And so I did that. Been there, done that. It's over. Got the t-shirt. It's now a dust cloth, right? Been there, done that. But in this season, when I had this little talk with my maker. And I said, God, listen, I'm in a season where it's an intentional season. I want to show up in the moment. I want to show up in the moment with those who get it, who understand it. And that's where they are. And let me tell you, that's what starts to show up. It doesn't mean that you're not holding the space for that person or that project or that dream or that vision. You're just being more intentional. And so when you are intentional about whether it's this business, creating, I always believe, create that business around your lifestyle. Never told anybody to quit before COVID, during, and after, right? Build it around your lifestyle. And there are ways that you can do it because you are being intentional. When you're being intentional and you're so in tune with those things, things will start to show up for you. Your prayers, pretty much the prayers that you've prayed, not the begging or any of that stuff, the prayers that's being prayed, and you say, God, I thank you, and you just leave it be and you do what you need to do. The people, places, opportunity, resources are going to show up. See, this is the thing a lot of people may not want to hear. But there are those of you who are here and you're like, this stuff is good. Who is she? I'm Sharon, RN to CEO. Yeah, baby. Yeah, but definitely be in the moment. Be in the moment. There's some things right now needs to cross off your calendar. You don't have to be everywhere and everything to everyone. And yes, you may know all the answers, but sometimes it's just good to be in that meeting and being like a fly on the wall. One of the things I started to do my intermittent fasting, which is really a lifestyle, because I'm at the point now I don't have to have 3 meals a day. But there was something that I was noticing. I was like, oh, really? I don't really eat until after like 1 o'clock, 12, 1 o'clock. And I'm like, all right, let me be more intentional with how I'm taking care of me. And one of the things I always say is to go and holistically, we're talking about our lives now, right? Is to go get a checkup. Go get your labs, get everything done. And what I like to do within the next 3 to 6 months, and I've done that, I said, all right, let me make some changes. When you make those changes and you're intentional and you're conscious about it, you're going to see the change in the numbers. If I decided that I'm going to walk, I started walking and then the heel spurs came back. Oh, I knew I had them. Then what do? I went to the podiatrist. Then they said, get these shoes. Okay, I got the shoes and the little thingy that I could pump up with air and put it in the shoe. And so I could continue to do that. And so the things that we were ignoring, and what I'm like, what was I so busy about? you know and so the little things, from the heel spurs to getting the right shoe to feeling comfortable when I go and walk. And then what did I do? I was so intentional about it that my walking time, I didn't schedule anything there. And if it's a call or a board meeting or call I could be on, I'll have my little earpiece or, the thingy there and walking in the fresh air and I'm feeling good about it. So I was intentional. I was building everything around my lifestyle. Oh, I love those grandbabies, but just don't stop calling me, 2 days before. Oh, we're going to Mexico next weekend for a work trip. Can you? Yes, and that's real. That is so real. Yeah. And so I love them, but no, I also have my life. So ahead of time, but I love them. I love those little boys. So come on, they know they melt my heart. But those are the things. And that's the thing too. You want to create that lifestyle for you that you can build it around you. So if you decide to say, okay, yeah, I come to you, they come to me, whatever, you want to be able to do that. And so being intentional about my well-being, that's it. Being intentional about the well-being. I got to put that up. When I did the 21-day care for self, I started to be more intentional about how I take care of myself, how I wanted to see those numbers move. And one of the things with the fasting that gave more clarity, the more that I watch it, guys, if you guys go over there to the You in the Tube, right? Because they don't want you talking about anything else. But yeah, and you see everybody talking about fasting. The people who are talking about fasting aren't the people that you would think would be talking about fasting, because guess what? When we grew up in the church, they would always talk about fasting. My grandparents and even my parents, I learned that every Wednesday was their fasting. All right. So they would fast from early in the morning to late in the evening, and or some will fast until 12 noon. And we are saying the spiritual part of it. And so lately they've been coming up in my feed, because anytime you do the fasting, I do the Daniel fast the first of the year. And that's so interesting. I just want to share that with the whole world. My church has been doing that now, I think, oh my God, more than 15, 20 years. Okay. And that fast and that Daniel fast totally changed my life. And so even with the intermittent fasting now, and I'm like, you know what, your girl got a little extra around here, so my fat cells, they'll be fine. But what started to happen, I said, all right, as a nurse, let's take it to the cellular level. What's happening in the body? Remember Dr. Sebi talking about it, and people will tell you that your health, guys, oh my God, the revelation is so that everything starts in the gut. We've heard it, that everything starts in the gut. And I was listening to another doctor, and he was on Stephen Bartlett's show. And I was doing this long drive. I was driving about 2 hours. And then when I listened, and he said that everything begins in the gut. Okay. So we've heard that. All right. So when everything begins in the gut, you know, when they tell you to take a deep breath, that the vagus nerve that we always know, like if your patient is like, we've had patients coming with SVT and we're like, cough, bear down, cough, right? Well, that it goes all the way into the gut. And so deep breaths, guys, deep breaths. Hey, TT Vlogs, thank you. I was on Miss TT Vlog, I was on your stuff, and I was watching all your camera stuff. Girl, you got it going on over there with all the equipment. Okay, thanks for showing up. But this is the thing, guys. Yes, so we're being intentional, being in the moment, taking care of ourselves. And so I took it back to the cellular level, started studying as much as I can, as many podcasts, as many physicians, and what I already know, and it all makes sense. It all makes sense. I was one of those people who didn't choose to, it was a personal thing why I'm choosing, like, hey, I'm going to really understand my body and what's happening. And so understanding the hormonal changes, the menopause, all of this thing, people say, what does have to do with nursing and being in the now? It has everything to be with who you are, because you may not show up like, you might be saying, I'm not feeling the way that I'm supposed to feel. I don't feel like myself. And so that's why when I went back into the intermittent fasting, then I even took it a step. I bump into the OMAD queen, 1 meal a day. The lady who said, fast every day, love Jesus, and be fabulous. I was like, who is this lady? And I saw her on Instagram, and she was having this meal, right? She had like a Caribbean, I'm Caribbean, so I'm going to have my fish. And she had all her vegetables and everything, and it was laid out there. And she said, people are worried about that I'm eating all of this, but she eats 1 meal a day. And I said, oh, I've done fasting, so that's not a problem. And so I started my OMAD, my 1 meal a day. And with starting that, I feel great, but I became more intentional. Remember, this is about being intentional about how you're going to end the year, you're going to start the year, you're going to be more intentional. This is not just about making New Year's resolutions, is it? Yeah. Right? It's being intentional about conversations, people, money, everything. I am being intentional. I'm at the place in the space that I don't have to feel as if I have to jump at everything. No, I am being intentional. And so even with my meals, I'm intentional. I'm even intentional, Barbara. I'm even intentional about how I present my meal. Some of us have these nice plates. We have the nice cups and china and things. We don't use them. And I'm like, no, I'm not eating out of a paper plate. Absolutely not. And so I fix my meal, my OMAD, my one meal a day. I fix it and it's absolutely beautiful. It's beautiful. So if in my office, I can come down and I made my like, yeah, I just make it the way and I want it to look beautiful. So I am being intentional about my meals, my conversations, my relationships, how I'm showing up, what I'm choosing to do. And by that way, what am I doing? I am choosing to protect my peace. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And so, even when you are being felt as if, oh, yeah, you nurses are not even professionals. You guys can't even get this. We're going to put a cap on that. We're going to do this. Let me tell you, come here, come up a little closer. Let me tell you something. Let me fix my bang, right? Let me tell you a little something here. I know who I am and whose I am. And I'm very clear on my history. And I'm very clear I am here because of them. Who said that I may come into a room as one, but I stand with, I don't know if it was Maya Angelou. I need to get that quote. Somebody find that quote, right? I may show up as if I'm one, but I'm standing on of the shoulders of thousands of millions. So even when things happen, even like in Jamaica right now, we're not just resilient, we are resourceful. Folk, all of us, we are resourceful. They will say, you can't have this, we take it. And I'm being intentional about everything. I'm being intentional about totally all my history, even everything that you were told, and you find out who the real deal. Because some people will take from others to make themselves look great. It is nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. Be intentional to know where all of this came from. Be intentional. Every hidden figures, every this, every that, be intentional about it. And the moment you're intentional about it, when they're talking there, you know that it's foolishness. As in Jamaica would say, it's rubbish, right? When they're talking their stuff, you're like, okay, we know, baby, we know, you know. And so being in the moment is being present. Being in the moment is showing up as who I am. Yes, Miss Blogs, that's the thing. Being in the moment when somebody tell me I can't do something, I know what I'm capable of doing. And so I can't want something. Sometimes too, when you even work with people, I can't want it more than you want for yourself. But if you know what I know, if you know what I know, that when you plant a seed in the ground, in order for it to come to fruition, it's going to need your energy and your time. It's going to need that thing in order for it to grow. We've been there. And so sometimes putting yourself on the back burner does not serve you. It doesn't serve you. And no longer will I tolerate. I even start to move people out of my community, my online community, because if you lacked integrity in a thing and you think, and that's another thing too, being intentional in this season, stop letting people play. I'm like, don't even play, because there are people who will come after folks for less. But you already, like I said, I'm very clear on who I am. I'm not out here playing Mickey Mouse games. This is being present in the now, making a decision, choosing to show up in a way that gives me joy. I mentioned earlier that there are people that I know in the last 2 weeks accomplished, educated, um, portfolios, all of those things. They've done really well financially in this world, but I don't lead. Their lives doesn't lead like that. Their lives led with the service that they have done for this world, making a difference. And so it makes you think about what is it, your mortality a little bit more when there are people close in your age group that are now leaving this planet because everything else can't go with them. But it's in the moments. It's how I remembered how they showed up, the lives that were touched, and being present in the moment, not to worry about what somebody is saying because 2 weeks from now, a month from now, or a year from now, they're not even going to even remember what they said, but we're caught up in it. So I want to thank you for showing up. I want to thank you for following me, RN, the number 2 CEO, recognizing you need to nurture yourself and your business on Instagram and all the other. I'm over there on LinkedIn too, wherever you decide to connect with me. How do we connect? How do we work together? Um, I'm just really about being intentional about my life, my energy, my time, and my resources, and the people that I choose to have in that space who are ready to say the freedom, the flexibility, building the impact, income, finance, all those things that they say that they want, but it's about putting you first. I've always holistically included that in how the coaching and the things that I do, because you're not able to separate you from your business. If you're not feeling your best self, and you didn't go to the doctors and say, oh my God, those vitamin D level, all of those things, I need to take care of them. Oh my goodness, I didn't do that. That's why I don't have my oomph, my get up and go. So holistically, we got to take care of that, right? There's some folks who say I can do it all by myself. Well, if you could have done it by yourself, it would have been done already. The first time I heard that, I was like, child, no, she did not say that. I'm a rock star. I can do that, right? But I always believe in the mastermind principle. It takes two. It takes you being in a community of like-minded individuals, and it's not for everybody. That's why sometimes when I come here, I don't even talk about that because guess what? It's not for everyone because I'm choosing to be intentional about my space, my time, my energy. And when you take somebody else on in that, okay, this is not even a sales pitch. I'm just telling you the truth, how I live my life and how we should choose to show up, live in our lives. Be intentional about that. And then that's when you bring people in to see if they're a good fit for you. So, guys, I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. It's been good. It's been great. Come back to the replay, take a listen to it. Say, hey, Sharon, I really loved listening to you. Let me know about finishing the year stronger and starting even stronger. But I'm not a nurse. Baby, you heard your girl tonight, right? You heard me. Okay. So we know that it's all of us. It's the whole thing. You can't take it apart. And say I'll do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that. It's being more intentional. I've said that word over and over, but is so necessary in this season. Let's not have people play with us. Okay, enough is enough. All right, beautiful people. It's been good. It's been great. Until next time. See you. Take care. Bye.